Draw nearer this eerie realm. Come closer, this mysterious realm. Enter here. This crawl space inside, the hand-drawn map and old drawings. The old phone and copper tubing, notes on the wooden floor under my knees. Let me recognize myself, asking, why were they left here? What are they showing me? I'm sorry, I have to start at the beginning. There's a lot to reveal and I need to focus my thoughts for you because I'm still in the middle of discovering more. Okay. I have a small door in my home just under 5 foot high. It's at the top of the stairs of the small house built in 1900. I disregarded it at first for storage and hadn't the time to pay any attention to it. Things that needed to be kept unseen and away from my daily life was all it was, when a few old graphite holders and pencils began appearing on the floor in front of the door. I thought nothing except they were mine, disregarded. I lost track. They were there before or simply rolled off a table and ended up there. I was finally moved to investigate the door one day in summer, and what I found was that it opened to a crawl space. As I peeked in, I saw old floral wallpaper from the light of the door opening and a single light bulb hanging by a wire. I sat on the floor at the opening and reached in to turn on the switch attached to the bulb, and the bulb lit up. The bulb was how I found it. It was nothing I put in. I felt the attic-like heat of the space on my hand instantly as I turned on the light and smelled the hot old wood boards that lined the length both to the left and right. The small area with the single bulb had old wallpaper and was connected by a copper tube leading to an old Western Electric Company phone at the right. A beautifully built wooden box wall-mounted sort of phone, maybe from 1910 or 20s. I wasn't sure. A small pad of paper was beside it and a tin recipe box sat on top. Sound waves into electrical signals, yet inside this crawl space. Was it an old play phone for a child, or a serious part of the knob and tube wiring? So, what would the copper tube extend towards? I saw nothing in the darkness beyond the phone. So I looked to the left, opposite the phone, and saw a square pinpoint of light on the far end. That must be a vent leading to the outside, to keep fresh air flowing as much as possible. Now, within arm's reach, direct from the doors opening in front of me, was the slanted roofwood framing. That's where the wallpaper was glued, and where I saw hints of scrapbooks or diaries, possible time capsules, and familiar objects tucked away in the nooks and crannies. I had to know more. Since the light of the door freely let in the outside now, I longed to begin exploring. I felt the nourishment of opening this up again for what seemed like so long ago. It felt true and made me wonder, why did I wait so long to do this? As I began to uncover those items and crawling to the right, past the phone, through the wiring like nerves, and into the stifling darkness, I wanted to be prepared because I was still hesitant. I stopped to direct a light towards the worn paper map I found folded, holding it against the wood, and making sense of the hand-drawn scribbling, perplexing signs and handwriting before moving forward was uncomfortably demanding. Nothing was moored. Everything seemed unsecured and wavering to be steadied. I had to calm myself. "Take your time," I said. Was this illustrated map showing the area I was in? What were these odd lines that coiled around hands, fingers and heads? Where was this marked area surrounded with 6 wired porcelain knobs? I now know there was no possible way to be prepared for what I found and felt. What I needed to confront and work through before emerging again, grown, into something I must remind myself of and practice every day. I looked back to the door opening behind me, making sure it was still open and the light was coming in. It was. I took a deep breath, audibly exhaling while turning back to the dark and saying out loud, "It's just me here, right?" I reached ahead and carefully headed on. It was silent inside. The muffled hum of an air conditioner unit outside next door rattled on, and surprisingly gave me comfort as here I was, crawling in what felt like an entirely different atmosphere. That's real and life is happening just outside, I'm fine. These things inside my head, my intention, what I'm experiencing, will be outside, on paper and shared for others. I'll get through this. I want to find where this leads. I don't want to be negligent of this any longer. I have this one morsel. It's a start. Reasonably piecing together what I experienced after that moment of attentive focus, the brief vibrating distortion of any normal engagement with the world, can't be fully put it together at this time. Maybe one day I can share more about this revelation. Until then I need to be abrupt, because I must return and continue on farther.